What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Wes Björnsson here, representing Country Crush. Welcome to The Grip, where we talk about arm wrestling, powerlifting, and strongman. Let's get into it. Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about kind of a sensitive subject. It's one that a lot of people in my sport, arm wrestling, have mixed opinions on, mixed views on. And today I want to breach my thoughts on it, steroid usage in arm wrestling, and why I not only think it should not be banned, I don't even think it should be tested for. I'm going to be coming at this topic in 3 different ways, one of which is medically, one of which is kind of anecdotally, stories and such, and the third is probably the growth of the sport of arm wrestling, and why I think steroids could play a massive role in that sport becoming more mainstream. Okay, now before I breach this topic in any capacity, we need to establish right off, I'm not a steroid user. I have tampered with gear when I was younger, but that's been years ago. I do not use steroids, I do not use TRT, I do not use any synthetics. I don't even use like pre-workouts and creatine and shit. If you see some of the pictures of me, it would be really easy to assume I'm using like side enhancement, like synthol or shooting straight into a muscle or something. I just naturally have big biceps. It's the only part of my body that's even remotely impressive. The rest of me is just a big fat guy. And if you've ever seen me in person, you know there's nothing particularly impressive about my physique, except, you know, boobs are nice. The first thing I think we should address is the medical issue. Are steroids safe? Most steroid users will tell you that there's no medical proof that they're not. Most anecdotal evidence will show you that high-level bodybuilders, and even some medium to low-level bodybuilders who are on massive stacks, die really early. You see it happen a lot. Now, am I talking about taking like a base of testosterone and then coupling it with like, I don't know, tren or something? No, I'm talking about like massive fucking stacks. It's going to cause some problems. Like I said, there's no medical proof of any of that. Except for HGH and insulin. Any doctor will tell you that those two things can fuck you up. They also have massive results, so, you know. Now, when we talk about steroids, I think a lot of people have a misconception about exactly what they are. It's not a magic serum. All it is, all steroids are, in general, now I'm talking gear, I'm not talking synthol or HGH or, I don't know, insulin abuse. I'm not talking about those things. I'm just talking about gear. It's just synthetic forms of testosterone, of the shit that's already in a man's body. Certain things will be enhanced in that synthetic blend that promote muscle gain over, say, something else that T does in your body. The effects of those are either anabolic or androgenic. The anabolic effect of steroids is the compound interacts with your muscle, then it interacts with your DNA and promotes big amounts of protein synthesis. The androgenic effect of it is that it basically reproduces puberty. So it latches onto your androgen receptors. A good way to picture this is like your androgen receptor is a hand connected to your muscle. And the compound forces your hand to get bigger, thereby catching more androgens. It's a really lay version of what's happening in your body, but it is pretty much what's going on. The reason I don't think these two effects matter that much in arm wrestling is by far muscle is not the most important thing in our sport. Without question, the connective tissue, the tendons, the ability to move joints in powerful ways, these things matter way more than how big diameter your forearm or your bicep is. Without a doubt, steroids offer a healing benefit. But the healing benefit to tendons, connective tissue, that stuff, it's very negligible. Tendons just heal slow. There's no way around it. Poor blood flow is the main cause of that. So I don't think steroids offer a whole lot to an arm wrestler. That being said, I understand that probably 90% of our stars are on steroids. The defense for that is, when you're at that level, when you're at the elite level and everybody is peaking at a 10 or a 10.5, any kind of small boost is going to help. My number 2 attack on this subject is anecdotally. If you think back, how many times have you seen guys who are clearly not on gear completely demolish guys that are clearly on something? Now, I understand that anecdotes and stories are the weakest form of evidence, but just think back to the last tournament you were at. Think back to the last time you saw a massive guy pulling. Did that guy win the overalls? Probably not. Technique, connective tissue, joint manipulation, and leverages are without a doubt the things that matter in this game. Not to mention that truly, arm wrestling more than any other sport I've ever been a part of, with the exception of maybe BJJ, is kinetic chess. It is truly chess between two human beings. For every movement, there is a counter movement. For every leverage, there is an opposite leverage that you can exact on your opponent to deny them strength. So almost regardless of who the other guy is, if you understand leverages and your connectives are tight and strong, you've got a dog in the fight. You've got a chance, regardless of if the other guy is Denis Leplinkov or Joe Schmo down at the bar. Now we're on to the final point of attack for my little thesis, and that is the growth of the sport. Now look, I'm not happy about it, and trust me, as a fat Swedish arm wrestler, I wish this was not true. But the way somebody looks, the physical condition they're in, can land a person a career, whether or not they're an elite level arm wrestler. I'm going to throw out some names. This is not a disrespectful comment on any of these guys, but it's just the truth. If Craig Soublier or Mike Aiello did not look like they do, would you be as invested in them as you are? The answer is no. Mike Aiello is funny as fuck and a great talented puller. I just saw him beat Sean Latimer like 2 days ago, which blew my fucking mind. But that being said, the thing that won him his fame was Game of Arms and being the most jacked, muscular dude on that show. In fact, I don't even think he won a single pull on that show. Mike, if you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. Craig Soublier is the same story. Great dude. I love watching his Instagram training videos. His podcast is supposed to be really good. I haven't got a chance to see it yet. He represents Country Crush like a motherfucker. But if he didn't look like a jacked, scary fucking dude, I don't think he'd have the audience that he does. For the growth of the sport, I think looking the part helps. Would you rather see two dudes that look like me arm wrestle? Or would you rather see two dudes that look like this arm wrestle? The truth of the matter is just that if we want non-arm wrestlers to become interested in the sport, we have to give them icons, we have to give them superheroes. And what's something all superheroes share? It's their physique, right? We have to give them Mike Aiellos and Craig Soubliers and Denis Leplinkovs and Devin Larratt's. We have to give them body types to latch onto. And realistically, you don't have time to learn about somebody who they are. You have to observe who they are. You're making a split decision whether you like this guy or not. I mean, tell me the last interesting thing Denis Leplinkov said. I mean, I'll wait. Basically what I'm getting at is the advantages steroids bring to any individual in any sport are unarguable. I mean, they just exist. It's the reality of the situation. Heightened muscle, heightened recovery time. Not going to do a whole lot for your connective, not going to do anything for your technique or leverage. So, like I said, not to mention that they bring a huge advantage to the growth of the game, which I think we all as arm wrestlers need to be focusing on. I don't think gear should be banned. I don't even think it should be tested for. Not that if it was tested for, it would stop anybody anyway. And so that's my closing argument. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I wanted to touch on this topic because at least once a month I have this argument with some guy on social media that just got beat by, somebody on gear. And I just don't think it's that important. Anyway, that was The Grip. I am Wes Björnsson, and I hope to see you guys next time.